Let's have a brief overview of the 7 stages of spiritual development. As guides, directors, and companions, we understand the deep need that people have in wanting to know why they're here, what are the gifts that they have, what are their callings, what are their obstacles, what do they need to do to succeed in their mission here on earth. And understanding these 7 stages will help us accurately and confidently support our clients in understanding all of the above. So we're just going to dive in, have a very brief overview of these 7 stages, and then there will be subsequent videos on each of the stages. So the first is what we call the sacred contract. This is where God chooses and sets apart an individual for the work they are destined to do on the earth. Secondly, there is the divine blueprint. So having chosen this individual, God then begins to equip the person with everything that they need to succeed in this mission. And that includes their gifts and talents, their personality, qualities, the roles, the passions, the callings, their values. All of the above is part of that divine shaping. Then the third season is what we call the placement. Now, this is where God places the individual in family, community, and history to shape them ready for their mission on earth. And all of us understand that our families and communities and the times in history that we grow up offer us gifts, and they also offer us a poison chalice. So during this time of lived experience, we're being shaped positively for our life's work, but we're also absorbing negative influences that later have to be dealt with. The next phase is then what we would call the shaping. This is where God is uniquely putting us in context with other people and situations to begin to develop us spiritually ready for our life's work. And that includes shaping our character, shaping our abilities, shaping our sense of authority, and shaping who we are as an individual so that we carry a positive identity. And then in stage 5 is what we call the awakening. This is where God begins to sense that now is the time to awaken this individual. And often this is preceded by something shifting in our lives that causes us to question maybe our identity, our direction in life, our performance, many things. But we sense that there's something old in our lives that has disappeared, and we're being invited to step into this new. Trouble is, we don't know what the new is. And so our soul, in response to the divine, invites us on a journey to remember who we are, to let go of the past, to then connect to what matters most, so that we're able to embody our gifts and our message and our calling and bring hope and healing in a hurting world. The 6th area is then we have to learn to partner with the divine. All too often, even when we go through a spiritual awakening, there's still this sense deep within us that this is my calling, this is my life's work, I have to achieve this, and if it's going to be, then it's down to me. But God doesn't give us a calling and a mission and then expect us to do it on our own. I would argue that we're offered callings that are just impossible to succeed at on our own. We have to partner, to hold hands with the divine and learn how to listen to the voice of the divine, to authoritatively speak into situations, to change them, to manifest resources, to hear the voice of God, and to be led forward on that. And that's often a challenge to do it. And in the very last stage, we then are led by Spirit. Jesus once said, "Hey, I do nothing except that which I see the Father doing, and I say nothing except that which I hear the Father saying. Saying and doing. And so that's the place where we get to in this, where we recognize if it's going to be, it's not up to me, but it's up to thee. And we become like a channel for the supernatural, for the divine to begin to flow through us, and it becomes an effortless journey that we understand that we're creators and we begin to flow as creators. So a quick overview of the 7 stages of spiritual formation and development. In the next video, we'll begin to dive in to stage 1 and then go on. Be interested to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Bless you.